I dare ya. Take it if you want, take it. Yeah, start trouble upon me. Good evening and welcome. We are here with Johnny Nelson. That's a nice suit. He hasn't got mad crocs on, has he?
When I drop those trainers, that suit don't work. Brown beige trainers with blue suit. Yeah,
But you'll wear crocs though.
Crocs in the future.
They're the past.
The ones that I've got, weed bag at the front, oyster bag in the other one. Can't touch that.
Anyway, Johnny, we've got to speak boxing. Some nice jewellery. I do like that jewellery, but we can talk about that after. I want to get straight to something with you, and I want to talk about. I was at the AJ presser the other day.
Yeah.
Obviously, you weren't there, but you watched it. I just want to get your thoughts on what you thought about it.
My thoughts are, I think AJ has got to the stage where he's sometimes I think he's kind of pennies finally dropped. He doesn't care what anybody says. So when he's saying I'm doing it for the money, you know, he don't care what your response will be because your response will be what it'll be. When he's talking like that, you know, from the things he's kind of said before, that's not you're trying to figure out what he believes in. I think now he's got to start believing in himself and stop asking the opinions of you, me, anybody else. He's been in the game long enough, but you've got to remember, as a professional fighter, I think it's 10 years, just under 10 years. Look what he's achieved, and I understand that frustration for him. So I just think now he's turned the corner. I think we'll find out with Anthony Joshua what his desire is, how much real love he's got for the sport when he's in a tough fight. Oh, this fight might show us. This fight might show us something that we haven't seen. And the reason why I'm saying that, and I don't get me wrong, so don't people start saying Nelson said X, Y, Z. When Nigel Benn boxed Steve Collins, no one would ever believe Nigel Benn, the Dark Destroyer, would have quit midway. Nigel, bad man. But once the fight's gone out over here,
Okay.
no matter what, you think, okay, I'm done. And this is what my question is: how much is it still there in AJ? You know, and he's took himself away to train. He's taken the stick from everybody. That's either going to make or break a man, and it hurts. So, and we'll find out because he's not short of a bob or two. So he could walk away tomorrow and still look good, or you know, I don't believe he's doing it for the money. I think he's got enough dollars. He might be trying to convince himself of that because he's hurt, and he's hurt by the things that people have said. But I don't believe that line. I think he's probably talking to you guys with content because you hurt him. You hurt him with the things that are said around it and his career.
Now that makes perfect sense. When he said something about money, I just whatever. Because like you said, he's not short of money.
Yeah.
But he's changed trainers. I spoke to Derek Jackson because Derek Jackson's a boxer, and you know who he's got in the gym. He's got good people around him, to which he said will encourage AJ, will bring him on. Yeah,
that's what he's always needed. And this is why a lot of fighters, they'll go to America, not because the trainers are better, coaches are better, because there aren't many true coaches left. And it's going to be quite a few years for them to stick it out, go through the rough and the smooth to get the experience to say they got the wisdom. So there's not many of them left. The reason why you go over there because there's a lot of bodies and shapes and sizes of men to spar with to improve you to sharpen your tools on. That's the benefit of going over there. And for AJ, I'm quite sure he'll be a small man amongst them. You know, how many guys of AJ's athleticism and size and everything are there here in the UK for him to work with and sharpen his tools up with? He's made that commitment, and so that's why they're over there. So youngsters that are looking at boxing thinking I'll go to America because it's better over there, it isn't. It isn't. If you want to prep properly, it isn't. It's about conditions, what you've got to spar with. That's what's important.
When you talk about, obviously, he's having the fight with Franklin. We were all under the illusion or impression that he was going to fight Dillian White. That was the one that it was set up to kind of like fight. And then for whatever reason, maybe it's the way that the scores were tight, however the fight turned out, they thought, you know what, maybe we'll get Franklin. Franklin looked as game as anything at that table. You could feel the hunger. Like, you know, when someone serves up food and he's like, I'm going to take that. That's what I got from Franklin.
Talk is cheap. And so maybe they looked at Dillian White and thought, this is a riskier, tougher fight because these two fighters will get up for each other.
Yep.
So for AJ, after he's lost to Usyk, he's got to come back. He's got to have a gimme. He's got to have a gimme, an opponent where he's got a good chance of beating to raise his confidence back up a bit. Because remember, he's lost his last two fights under Shaw. So Franklin on paper looks like that gimme. Because I agree, I wouldn't go get straight and fight Dylan White. Dylan White, unfortunately, is in a who needs him club, and he's in a position where he's got nothing to say you have to fight him. So he's got to beg and hope that somebody's going to do him a bly, or otherwise he's got to take the long path around and wait for him in a day like he had been doing. Maybe pass his best, and then get the crack when it's too late. And so for Dylan and AJ, this fight I wouldn't do it next either.
When you look at, obviously you've been there, you've done it, you've wore the hat, the T-shirt and everything. When you look at the stages of their careers, and we'll take Anthony Joshua as a prime example, where do you see him going at this point in his career? I mean, what is his why? Why is he continuing?
And that's my point. So as long as Usyk's around, as long as Tyson Fury's around, he knows these men have got the best. As far as he's concerned, he knows Usyk's has the better of him. He doesn't know Tyson Fury as on paper. You look at it and think, well, Tyson Fury looks like that. He's that guy. So right now, there's two men out there that are suffering from getting to the top. So if you know you're in a race and you know you're never going to win that race, no matter how hard you run or how fast you run, you're going to think, why am I doing this? I don't want to make the numbers up. He's got too much pride to be a guy that makes the numbers up. And I go back to the old saying, he ain't no backing dancer. And so no matter what he's telling everybody else, I'm just doing it for the money. AJ is no backing dancer.
But what does that do to your head, though? You know, you've been a champion.
That's what I'm saying to you. So, and that's why I said this is the toughest part. You thought the tough part was the aftermath of the Usyk fight. It ain't. The toughest part is now when it's quiet.
Okay.
When it's quiet, he's got to decide his head if he wants to do it, why he wants to do it, has he got the motivation to do it, what's he going to give to commit to doing it. These are all the questions that he's got to have with himself, not to bounce off you and I. And so it's the quiet part, it's the hardest part. That stuff you saw in the ring after the Usyk fight, nothing. That's what everybody's talking about, but that is nothing. This is the time now for AJ to decide what I want and how much I want it. And so that's why when he's saying stuff like that, I think if that is true, then you don't want it enough. Because boxing's the wrong place to be if you're doing it just for the money. If you know you're boxing, it's the wrong place to be because all you need is one good licking. And especially if you don't need the money, and then you think, nah, I don't want it enough. So that's why I just think, I don't believe in that, but I do believe he's trying to find his mojo back. He's trying to find that confidence and belief and that excuse to think, right, this happened last time, that happened last time, I'm a better fighter now, I can do it.
Do you think he's got that, like you said, the contempt where it's sort of like he feels like everyone's against him and he's feeling a bit pissy about everything?
See, it's because he's looking at the likes of Dylan White, Tyson Fury, Dexter Chisora. These men have been, and more, have crossed the line in regards to what's been said and done. And he's been a blue-eyed boy. He said, they've done everything right, and he's getting ripped left, right, and centre. So he's thinking, you know what? You give me a hard time and I've done it right, so it's stuff here. You know, why would I care what you're thinking anymore? And unfortunately, it's a bad habit he can't get out of. You know, sometimes he's asking, man, what do you think? He's being polite, he's being respectful, but he don't have to do that. You know, he don't have to do it, but he does.
I know you're itching to get off because you've got to do your bits and bobs. I might try and drag you back later, but October Red Boxing with the lovely Johnny Nelson. You're lovely, aren't you? You look nice today for once.
Thank you very much. Smell good too. Smell it, smell it, smell it!
I don't want to.
Don't teeth me drinks.
I don't want to teeth them dead dry mouth desert drink. Anyway, October Red Boxing with the lovely Johnny Nelson. Until the next time.
Peace!
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.